Shut up and sit down.
Hello everyone, it's my first stream. I'm going to go ahead and hopefully be able to show you some Camtasia editing today. I just did a blog post the other day about how I record my conference talks. This is a follow-up to that to show you how I actually do the editing, how I sync the audio, add my intro, outro, do some quick edits like transitions, fading in and out audio. So let's get right to it. So I've already got my project open in Camtasia. This has my screen recording. You'll see some additional audio in here. Normally you don't see an audio track separate from the screen recording. In this video, I happen to have recorded the system audio by accident. So we can just totally get rid of that. So the very first thing that I need to do here is I actually need to figure out where is the snapping of the fingers. That's actually how I do my audio syncs. That way I see a nice little increase in the waves. If I zoom in a little bit here, because I know how the audio looks. Normally I like snapping the fingers. It gives a smaller waveform, but it doesn't make everyone in the room stop what they're doing and immediately pay attention to you, because you're doing it before the talk starts. I don't want a big clap and everyone to stop their networking. So a little snapping of the fingers is quiet enough that no one catches it, but it shows up enough on the recording. So I know these little points here are actually where I snap my fingers. And I've just done enough of these now that I know that that's what the waveform happens to look like. So next, we need to get our camera on here. I use a Zoom Q4N camera. What it does is it creates a new file every 4 gigs or so-ish. And it always starts with Zoom, gives you 000, and then a number. And the number will increment depending on what is on the memory card. So you see I got Zoom 0001. And then what it does is the 1 stays constant. Whatever that number is past Zoom will stay constant. And then it'll get rid of the O and the M on Zoom, so it becomes ZO02001 and ZO01001. So this will be the first or the second one, and this will be the third one. Right now, we only want the very first one. We're going to go back to the start of our timeline, and we're going to add the camera in here. Let's zoom this in a little more. I can see right off the bat, I've got some big waveforms. Because I'm standing in front of the camera here, it shows up a lot more. So in order to hear this right, let's mute our actual audio for our screen capture. So perfect. So we know that is our actual audio sync point. And our other one is right here. Let's get rid of this marker I accidentally added. So now we want to drag over our video, and we're going to try to line these up best that we can. And because I'm recording, it's doing a tad bit of delay, much more than normal in the dragging. zoom this quite a bit, and let's see how we're doing. And here's the primary. I zoom it in. Before it looked like I was right on the audio, and I definitely was not right on the audio. So again, this over just a tad bit. Do when you're not doing a recording, you can have it a slight delay and you're dragging. There you go. That sounds. I'm gonna bet it's got a little reverb going. Big time. This is. Right. For the audio. There we go. Must have accidentally done drag. Let's see if I can zoom that out just one level. How this actually sounds. Doesn't sound terrible. So let's go and zoom our timeline back up, and let's go find where I start talking. Alright. Give me a sec here because I accidentally moved my window around. So let's zoom this all the way out. And I happen to know somewhere in this area is when I start. Zoom her back in a little. Let's take a quick listen. Welcome everyone. I couldn't have gotten that any closer. So right there should be the welcome. Welcome everyone. And it is. Now I highlight everything. I do a split, which is S. Highlight all the tracks, and I delete them because we do not need that portion of it any longer. We'll highlight everything, zoom all the way out. And drag all of this stuff almost back to the beginning. And now I want to add my intros. I already pre-created my intro. I know that I want the intro with the social icons. Let's preview this and see what it actually looks like here. That is what I want for my intro. We'll add it to the playhead at the timeline. And I can drag all of these back. Do a quick zoom in here. We will see in a second on our preview window once it renders. We have some update. Also shrink these back down. We don't need them to be so darn big. That was strictly so that we could do our audio sync points. Which in turn means I can make this much bigger. Now we're ready to do some editing. We'll say SoCal, San Diego. Just happened to be library. We had it. I had the then has normally have to change where I live at. In this case, it's mobile dev for web devs. Make sure to save our every so often. Just so now we have. And we're ready to add in all the rest of our videos. Import our media. I have video number 2 and video number 3. I also already went from the website CodeCamp to get it off of their Twitter channel. I do have one. We don't need our intro expanded any longer. Let's go into the actual talk. I want to hit next so that I can see both video here as well as the slides. Camtasia, it goes top to bottom for order that you see in this timeline to what shows up. So the video is the very top thing. So I know first off, I'm going to hit this little icon up here, which is the crop. And I don't need so much of myself here. So now that I have the crop down, next keep shrinking her down. I kind of like a layout that looks kind of like this. Also want to drag over our logo. And we'll make it a little bit bigger. Give them a little bit of prominence in here. Other thing, when the logo has a white background, it looks quite a bit nicer to change the actual background of the canvas to white. I think I can probably go a little smaller with this so that I can go a little bit bigger. Obviously, I need to shrink down just a tad bit. I can move this over a little bit. And right now, I think I actually have, yep, I had canvas snapping turned off, so I wasn't getting lines like I wanted. Now I get those guidelines here, and so that will help me actually with my editing, get everything kind of lined up. Now let's go ahead and play this and see how it looks. To me, mobile represents. The other thing I'm looking for as I'm playing this is, did I get the audio sync actually right? Or do I have a reverb actually going on?
One of the largest technology innovations that we've ever had.
So it sounds pretty darn good. Next, we're going to go to the end and we're going to add in all the rest of the cameras. So add number 1 here. head off to the end, and we will add in the second one as well. And we will add in last video, shrink it on down. Let's put them actually in the right spots. Put them right there. So you will notice that the video is now back big. Right click on it, say copy properties, paste in our properties. It will shrink down our video again. Let's try that one more time. Copy properties, paste properties. We will paste our properties as well into here. And the video is shrunk down. Other thing we need to do is expand our logo. Right now our logo doesn't take up the whole timeline, and we want it to. We'll just take it all the way to the end here. So the last thing we actually do is find where the ending hand clap is. So then we can cut the rest of the video out. I'm going to bet this might be it just because the big spike. Highlight everything, do a split again, delete the video. I've got a pre-made outro here. So add that at the playhead. So looks good there. Last thing to do is a few little touches here, fading in, fading out. So we want to fade out here. We will actually fade out our logo and our camera as well. We can also go into audio. We can fade the actual audio track out, which is active track. We'll undo since I actually did the audio around. Other thing we want to do is make sure we turn off the camera audio, since I haven't actually turned off the camera audio yet. Actually, what I haven't done is I haven't set the audio from the camera track. So we will do that momentarily. Just split out your audio. Click on your track and say separate video and audio. And we can zoom out a tad a bit here. We can do the same thing for the other video clips. And then I can just turn that track off. Technically, I can do the track as well because we won't process it. Last thing to do is to go back home here. And we're going to add in our fade, which is under transitions. And we're going to fade our camera, our screen, and our logo in. Make sure too our logo actually goes all the way to the beginning because it did not look like it did. Turn back off our camera audio that accidentally got turned off. And then the last thing we need to do is go under audio effects, and we're going to fade in this audio.
Welcome everyone. Hopefully you're all here to see mobile app development with JavaScript for iOS and Android.
So we've got our intro, it fades in,
So to me,
it fades out.
mobile represents
Camtasia eventually will stop playing. So the only thing we have left to do is to go to the ending area. Let's make sure it actually fades out like we want it to. So put it a little in front of the end. And we did all of our fades, and he started strictly because you're lagging a little bit as we're doing the live stream. And that's how I do all of my simple video editing for my talks. I'm not a videographer. I don't do professional editing. I want something simple, something easy that I can accomplish quickly within about 20 to 30 minutes. I can do all the processing, and then all I have to do is render the video, which takes about an hour, and then I can upload it to YouTube, Vimeo, wherever I want to actually upload it to. So since I was just doing a test live stream today, I'm going to go ahead and end our live stream for today. But in the future, our live streams will be a couple hours long. We'll do some coding. So occasionally, you might see me do some video editing as I'm playing with some new intros or outros. But typically, it will be some kind of coding. A lot of times it'll be around Node and Angular. Go ahead and subscribe if you want to hear about when any of my live streams are going. Talk to you later.